The ZABAL Gamez Season 1 is in search of workshop leads. June is the prep month, a library of recorded sessions that gets a whole cohort of first to vibe coders ready before the ship a thing this July. If you have built something worth teaching, you have a session to give. Visit ZABALGamez.com, that's ZABAL Games.com, and sign up. What is the ZABAL Gamez? 3 months, June, July, August. June is prep with ZABAL teachers, vibe coding instructors run recorded sessions on tools, context, and the ecosystem. July is the open build-a-thon. Anyone with the vibe coding harness ships a build for the ZABAL ecosystem publicly. August is the finals, a cohort curated from July, each builder paired with a ZABAL mentor for the main event, winner reveal.
Awesome. What's up, everybody? We are back for another ZABAL Gamez workshop. Here I have AZKAL today here to share a little bit about what he's created, FlowStage. So how are we doing today, AZKAL?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me. Excited to get in.
Yeah, it's amazing to have you on. We're chatting a little bit on the artist track, but also the creator track, because it's definitely a portion of media that you've created here for musicians and other artists, and I'm super excited to get into it. Do you want to share with everyone a little bit about yourself and how or why you created FlowStage?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi everybody. My name is Ram. I'm the founder and CEO of FlowStage. I have been in the engineering slash business space for the past 7 years. I have a dual degree in computer science and business, but I also am an independent artist. And so I started an artist project in 2021 that's like fully self-produced and like fully independent. And the reason FlowStage exists is sort of a conflux of like my professional background as well as my artist background. In 2024, as like every rising artist does, I made a bunch of TikToks for my music. I think I made over 1,000 of them like by hand. And I realized that it was a really not great process to be doing, since all we wanted to be doing as artists was producing music. So I started looking for like tech-enabled solutions that would allow me to create at the quality that I wanted at the scale that the market seemed to demand. Found that everything out there either was not that well built or was like very AI oriented, which wouldn't have aligned with my brand, or was something like CapCut, which I feel like has a lot of issues in the sense that you can't really scale it up. Like it's super customizable, but it struggles to make, like you can make like one video every like 5 to 10 minutes if you're really locked in. And so with FlowStage, our goal was to sort of take all like the pain points out of all of those systems. So take all the customizability of CapCut, pair it with the level of scale that some of the more tech-enabled solutions would do, and do it all in like a very authentic, thoughtful, artist-forward way without using AI visuals or AI audio.
I love it. I think there's the beauty is you saw a problem or a challenge that was specific to you, and then could kind of be applied to a lot of other individuals and start to attack that. So that's really cool. Would love to, showcase FlowStage, get a look behind the scenes and see how you're using it and how other artists could be using this tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen and we can dive right in.
Awesome. How long have you been making music, Ram?
Yeah, so I've been playing piano my entire life, but I only started producing in like 2020/2021.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is FlowStage. As discussed, the goal behind FlowStage is not just to be like a browser-based video editor, but to be a content creation and distribution system specifically designed to allow artists to compete at the level of major labels while having significantly less budget, provided, of course, that we're all willing to lock in and spend a little bit of time on the platform. The way it works is we reimagine the video editing paradigm such that rather than thinking about things in the terms of a video timeline. So for instance, with CapCut, you'll pull all of your videos into like a folder, and then you'll pull all of them into a timeline, and then you'll add the sound, and then you'll see the lyrics, and it'll get like messed up, and then you have to fix it again, and then you'll have to do that every single video over and over. With FlowStage, the idea is that instead of doing any of that, you start by creating a mood board. So you take your song, you figure out what sort of visuals or content angle you want to pair with it. Then you build a mood board comprised of like photos, videos, like any related songs, like text on screen hooks. And then through that, you're actually constructing a system to create content at scale that is like fully customizable with like as many guardrails as you'd like in place. And so actually all the videos you see on like this screen here, these are all different mood boards. You can see like there's like a old style karaoke mood board. There's like a black and white, like sad song mood board. There's like a more high energy mood board. There are like a bunch of country mood boards, like a K-drama style mood board, etc. And so with FlowStage, what we always try to like impart onto people is that you could use these mood boards, which we call aesthetics, right out of the gate, or you can design your own custom aesthetic. And if you design your own custom aesthetic, it'll not only be unique to you, but it'll likely do better because you understand, like you have an idea of what sort of visuals you want to pair with your music. You understand how you want things to work from a brand perspective, and it ends up just being like a much better experience for everybody involved. So the way FlowStage works is you can do like, I think a lot of the time when people see FlowStage or like similar products, they think, oh, this is a lyric video tool. And that's correct. To some extent, it is a lyric video tool, but actually what it is meant to do is you can do any kind of content that you would be doing as an artist on FlowStage. So if you're trying to do a lip sync edit that cuts between different shots of you syncing, or if you like singing, you can do that. You can do live show edits that use your original audio, or do like montage cuts of like on stage. You can do more traditional like lyrics, like Brat lyric edits or like flipbook edits. You can take a music video and overlay lyrics on it like 10 different ways, have it remain synced to the audio, and then like duplicate it 10 times, add variations, and then repurpose it across multiple accounts or like multiple channels like Instagram, TikTok, etc. With FlowStage, the goal is not just to do like lyric edits. That is something that we are really good at because it's the way that like my band blew up their first song, but just to be like the one-stop shop for content creation for any artist, label, or team. And we actually have over 50,000 people using this as of like today. We have like major record labels. We have music marketing agencies. We have done content campaigns for some of the biggest artists in the world, whose names I can't share here for like legal reasons, but this is at this point, this is a pretty critical piece of infrastructure within the music industry as a whole. The way it works is pretty simple. Imagine I want to make a video. And so there are a couple, like this is actually a pretty good visualizer, but with an aesthetic, you've got your songs, you've got the media that is associated with the songs, you've got like the different text hooks. And then by combining these in different ways, the algorithm will create variants of all of these components in unique ways every single time. Then you can edit them however you like, turn it into a preset, and then push it back into the aesthetic, so that as you continue going, you get this sort of virtuous cycle of like create
the recursive loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You make one edit, and then you pass it back in, and you go over and over and over. And as you continue making these presets, you'll be able to scale faster.
Yeah, so, and it just makes the outputs better. That's exactly very cool. I like that.
Thanks. So with FlowStage, there are a couple of different modes. The first one, and the simplest one that you've probably like seen online, is called the one-shot flow, where you upload a song. You can when you upload it, we automatically transcribe it for you like word by word and line by line. If you upload a longer song, which we actually also do allow for, you can even cut it into sections. So I can say, hey, actually for this song, I want to test the chorus and the pre-chorus and see how each of them does on social media. But once you've got like one of these put together, what you can do, let me find the song that we have that's doing like really, really well. Vital. Yeah. So you can pick any aesthetic. Let's say I want to do like a scenic, like landscape edit, or actually, no, maybe this one would do really well. And then I just hit draft. And what it's going to do here is the first thing it's going to do is it's going to copy this aesthetic into my workspace, and then it's going to one-shot a video in under like 5 seconds using the material from this aesthetic. And it's a fully editable video. So you'll see something like this. And so out of the gate, this is like a pretty strong video already. You can see there are a bunch of different presets we can use here. So I could use like Brat lyrics if I wanted. I could use some more like interesting ones. Like this is like the movie subtitle preset, which I'm like a big fan of. But you can also take these and customize these however you want. So for instance, for me, we support like a full video editor. The first thing I would probably do here is I would make the text a little bit bigger, and maybe I wanted to overlay like justify it across like left to right. But I'm already seeing like, oh, maybe like this font, like this color is not like the right color. So I'm going to change the color to something that I think is like a little bit more appropriate. I might, it looks like I might like soften the edges a little bit more to give it sort of the VHS feel. I'll make it like a little smaller so it fits like more dead center. And then I can even do stuff like add animation. So I can control, this is if anybody watching this is into like synthesizer design, this is an ADSR inspired animation designer where I can say, hey, like when you start out, I want it to fade in, and then I want it to hold for 0 seconds and then like ripple a little bit and then fade out. And so that'll probably give you an effect like this. Great. So now that I'm now that I'm looking at it a little bit more, I might make it a little bit bigger. But that's my video. I can save that. And once I save it, I can actually also make it like a preset later down the line so that I can use it elsewhere. The way that you do that is we're right now looking at the one-shot flow. So let's now take a look at FlowStage's like flagship feature, which is workspace mode. Workspace mode is a little bit at the start more complex to perceive, but basically what workspace mode lets you do is it lets you combine like hop into one of these aesthetics. It allows you to like see the photos and videos in it, the text hooks, like the editing presets, and then it allows you to do stuff like set up audio within a workspace such that when I choose this workspace or this aesthetic to create a bunch of content, it'll combine all 4 of these inputs. So in this case, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add that song that I just used since it was only in for like one-shot mode. I'm going to hit create, and you can see my video over here. I really like this video. Like, I think this is a really cool preset. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hit make preset. I'm going to override maybe the existing, no, actually I'm going to make an entirely new one. I'm going to call this like yellow font. And now if I check here, I'll see that the preset for yellow font was created. And if I wanted to make more videos in this style, because I've taken the time to edit this video, so I got it exactly how I want, I just hit make like as many as I meant, make multiple at once. Let's say I want to make 5 of each, like 5 verses, 5 choruses. I hit draft. This is the only place we ever really use like generative AI in this app, where we draft a bunch of different hooks, and you can of course opt out of it. But what we'll do is we'll look at the text on screen examples that you give. We'll match it against your song section and lyrics, and then we'll use that to create a library of like different variations that like tie back to your writing style. But of course, if you want to opt out of that, you could. You can see that it's got like all the different presets here. I just hit create. And what FlowStage is going to do now is it's going to create all 10 of these edits and then one-shot them one after the other using different visuals and different styles for every single one. So you can see that you've got like the poem overlay for some of them. You've got like the Brat generator typewriter overlay. You've got like the yellow text that we just did. Or something like this. So in this case, I'm noticing, oh, this is a little bit hard to read. So maybe what I want to do here is I want to add like a outline to make it like a little bit more legible. It's still a little bit tough. So what I'm probably also going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to like impose like the cinematic filter, which makes everything a little bit darker. And maybe I'll just use like, I know I kind of liked what it was like with serif before, but I'll like, we'll set it like that for now. And note that I've got a couple others that sort of look like that, where that might be an issue. So what I can actually do is I can copy that edit onto everything else matching that preset over here. And then I can just right click paste, and it'll apply all of my changes across all of them at once, because editing one video at a time is like very 2025.
Yeah. No, that's baller. I love the smooth UI of the right clicks, the select, and then the left click. So yeah, no, that's amazing. I love it. I like that there's also a simple mode right there, where the one-shot mode gives you the opportunity to try it out, get a little bit more comfortable with it before you go into generating 50 at a time.
Yeah, precisely. With FlowStage, I do want to flag that one thing that we actually, I'm glad that you mentioned this, but one thing that we always try to flag with FlowStage is that like we always try to get people to think about things as like drafting rather than generation, mostly because all of these are infinitely editable. You can pop in here, I can say, hey, I want a completely different video, and like one click re-roll it. And in this case, I was like, I don't like that open and click, I'm going to re-roll it again. And so with FlowStage, like we're trying to get you to good first draft so that you can make finishing touches. Even in this screen, if I wanted to like change stuff around, I can be like, instead of even opening the editor, we can manipulate text. I can like move lyrics around. I can like upsize or downsize as needed to give it like a little bit more of a human feel. And so these changes are all instantly persisted and they're saved as I like make them. But through this, we allow you to, in the time it takes you to do a single video in CapCut, we can do 50 of them in FlowStage.
Hell yeah. I love it. I think there's so many great use cases for this, not just for musicians, but any individual trying to create content these days. There's so many amazing pieces to this workflow that make it a lot more frictionless, right? To use and create. So I'm excited to try it out. I would love for you to share maybe if there's any other small features that are out there that you want people to try out. And like some of the like unique things you built in. One of the things I really like in watching more about FlowStage is just how active you are in the Discord. I think customer service is a big part of building a good product. So I appreciate just like how active you are there and like helping people, work through the product. So if you ever have any issues, just join the Discord, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we take customer service here and customer support here super seriously. Like I think that in the age of AI where building product is cheaper, I think one of the ways to differentiate is like brand and trust and like level of service and like infrastructural stability almost. So it's something that I learned through my entire career working at like management consulting and tech. So we try to apply it here as well with FlowStage. Other features I do want to quickly touch on before we go more into discussion mode are, because we're so oriented around like TikTok, what we actually have is a TikTok like semi-automatic scheduler where you can connect a bunch of different TikTok accounts, and then you can like take all like edits that have been rendered, schedule them to these accounts, and then it'll send you like text reminders as well as post directly to your TikTok draft. So it's basically the minimum viable flow that will prevent you from getting shadow banned, since you are still like active on TikTok, but you spend the minimum amount of time there, since the scheduling takes care of like pushing it to the drafts and sending you reminders. And that way you can actually use this to manage multiple people posting, since all the reminders can be sent to different phones. So we have like major labels on here using this to like help run their page networks, where they'll connect like 20 different accounts and assign 5 accounts to like 4 people each. And then they'll just have one person do all of the content, and then everybody else is just responsible for pressing buttons a few times a day. The other feature I want to touch on is we have a browser-based clipper where you can upload a video, cut it up, and then immediately turn it into like something that's like ready to go. So for instance, if I were to take this video here, I can automatically clip it, or I can even just come into the timeline and say, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are like the clips that I want to run from. And I can even review them like start to finish to see like where they start and end. And then I can immediately turn these into their own like aesthetic mood board. So this is a really, really fast way of getting stuff into FlowStage, especially if you're trying to pull from other external videos.
That's awesome. There's not a lot of tools that do that portion well. So I like that you gave a lot of customizability to the like make it as smooth as possible. Damn. How long have you been building FlowStage?
Yeah, so we're actually about to turn a year old in a couple of weeks. So we've been around for quite a while.
Well, congrats. Do you want to touch a little bit on the API? Because I know we have a lot of developers in our community that love the concept, but might want to try it out with a coding harness of their choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually everything you just saw me, so being a developer myself and having a professional engineering background, I've always been like a big fan of the open ecosystem. And so what we're trying to do with FlowStage is our core value is to enable creativity in all forms, not just from a video editing standpoint, but even from like a workflow standpoint. And so we have an API that allows you to do everything you just saw me do on FlowStage like headlessly with an API key. And so this API is used in production by like hundreds of applications. I know people who have built like businesses on top of FlowStage using the API that have crossed like 20K MRR alone, but where a lot of the business sits on top of FlowStage and they just have an agentic harness for it. And so with the API, the goal is to expose a bunch of different endpoints to allow folks to interact with the entire content creation, like uploading, editing, and like export/scheduling workflow. Some examples of products you can build with the API. You can build an agent where if you have a release coming up and all of your like music is already living in a central dashboard, you can text the agent and say, hey, my release is coming up. I need content. And it'll look through your FlowStage workspace based off of the guardrails that you've defined, like visually from an editing standpoint. And then it'll spit you back like 10 different videos to post across the course of the week with captions and hashtags. Like you wire in like an LLM to help advise on the content strategy, but it'll operate within the visually defined guardrails included in FlowStage. You can also build an internal dashboard that can one-shot 1,000 pieces of content at the same time, provided that your aesthetics are good enough. We have an internal product that has an automation rule where every single day, if I forget to draft a piece of content for that day in the FlowStage app, the agent will draft that piece of content for me using my top performing aesthetic and text it to my phone. So really with the API, the sky is the limit. And if you're looking through, and for any developers watching this, if you're looking through the API documentation and you see stuff that isn't there that you want to be, like, please reach out. Our Discord is super active and we're always trying to get better and better about it as more developers start joining. But yeah, ensure the API can do almost anything. We're actually also about to release like a white labeled editor flow. So even if you want to edit your video once it comes out of FlowStage and brand it like with your site, you can also do that.
That's awesome. Well, I love that so much. There's so many like fun pieces to go into, but I think the best thing for us to do is will be to try it out and hopefully in this next month of July on one of the lives, I'll try out the API, showcase it, and kind of create something that's open source for other musicians to use if they want to try it out on their own from that angle. So I'm excited. I think there's a lot of fun things we can do with it. And I appreciate you spending the time here with me today. Do you have final things that you want to share with folks about FlowStage, about using FlowStage, anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if people could watch this and take away one thing, it's that with FlowStage, the idea behind it is that you create with intention. It's an extremely powerful tool and can create like hundreds and hundreds of videos in like very short amounts of time. But at FlowStage, we're not only just against AI slop, we're also against like slop in general. And so we found that if you, for instance, come into FlowStage and you create like and you don't really like think about what you're doing and you just like use a bunch of default presets and you don't consider whether or not they match a song or whether or not they build a brand, you will most likely see worse results than if you come in and you say, hey, you know what, I'm actually going to think about my content strategy a little bit. Like what TV shows match my song rather than clip spamming like random stuff that's trending? What sort of like visual atmosphere do I want people to associate with my artist like persona when they see this like lyric video? And so everybody who does that ends up doing like significantly better. We always recommend again that people build their own aesthetics. We actually have like an analytics platform as well. And so I can say that everybody who like from the videos that I've seen that use people's own aesthetics, they usually see like a 20% lift on average. And of course, like sometimes people will find like great success with our existing aesthetics, but because when you build an aesthetic, you're creating with intention by nature, it's always better for people to do that.
I love it. I think that's really cool in this emerging age of AI slop content. It's cool to have a tool that can be able to produce at the scale that the slop is coming out, but with actual intention. And I think that's very valuable. So thank you, Ram, for coming on today, sharing about FlowStage. Maybe it'll be fun to have you on in a month where we're doing some stuff with the API keys and some fun stuff around FlowStage. So do you want to share where people can reach out to you and where people can find the Discord and any other links?
Everything is actually like it's all on our website. So app.theflowstage.com. If you hop on there, you can access the Discord. You can like try the product. We have like even if you start up and upload a song, we don't watermark anything because I believe that you should be able to use FlowStage even if you're like ad creator, for instance. And so we've had people come on and use it to make like Canvas videos or like run meta ads for like their 5 pieces of creative for the month, and we don't charge them anything. So if you want to come on and like try it, it's free to like start out with, and then then there's a subscription model if you're trying to like operate like a fan account strategy or run things at a higher scale.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, AZKAL and Ram, and wishing you all the best. And when we have some feedback, we'll definitely make sure we reach out.
Awesome.
Thank you. Cheers for everyone watching, and have a great